what's up everyone? First off, I want to thank you for clicking on this video, taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. And in this video, I'm going to be giving a review of the Kindle Scribe. I've had this e-ink tablet for about a week and a half to 2 weeks now. So I want to touch on, the pros, the cons, what I like, what I don't like, and overall, whether or not I would recommend it. Without further ado, we can dive right into it. Just two caveats. I do have some notes in front of me. If I'm looking down at any points, I'm just looking at my notes. And two, I'm fairly new to this e-ink tablet world, right? Like before this, I had the Kindle Paperwhite, and before that, I had a small Kobo, both of which are just readers. So this is the first e-ink tablet that I've gotten that has writing capabilities, and that's the perspective from which this review will be. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. So firstly, let's talk about my use case and why I even wanted the Scribe. The Kindle Paperwhite is a great device, but the screen was a little bit too small for me. I wanted a bigger screen so I would have less eye strain, right? And that's something that the Scribe really provided for me with the bigger screen. The second thing I wanted is I wanted to be able to write all in one place. Before the Scribe, I had a Rocketbook, which, if you're not familiar, is an actual notebook which you write on and then you can scan the page and then you can erase all the contents of the page and then reuse it. This was fine, but the process of having to scan and then erase, I wanted to get rid of that. I wanted a tablet or something where I could just write, have it be stored there, and when I want to get my notes, I just have one thing that I need to get in order to get all of my notes. So that's the reason I went with the Scribe. Now let's touch on the pros of this device. Firstly, the aesthetics, right? Absolutely beautiful. And two things in particular that I absolutely love about the aesthetics: the screen. 10.2 inch, I believe this is. And, this solves all my issues regarding eye strain. When I read on this, I don't get eye strain, and it's an absolute pleasure to read any book on this, right? It's just, the device is beautiful in every way. Like if you look at, the side, it's nice and thin, and I'm blown away by the aesthetics. And anyone I show it to, they really love how it looks as well. The second part about kind of the aesthetics and more feel type of things is this pen. I love, love, love this pen. It feels, just in my hand, it feels just like a normal pen I would use to write on, like a piece of paper. And that's a big thing for me. I could have, if I wanted, just gotten, a used iPad from Facebook Marketplace or some other tablet and then gotten a stylus. And it would have accomplished the same thing of having all my notes in one place. But what I really wanted was to replicate that experience of writing on an actual piece of paper with a pen as much as possible. And the way this screen is, the writing experience is just a joy, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And this pen too, it just feels like a pen you would use in your day to day, and I really like that. Another thing I really like is they have a strip of magnet on the side of this tablet and a strip of magnet on this pen, right? So it clicks, and hopefully you can hear this. I'm gonna put it close to the mic here. I'll do it one more time in case it didn't come through. I absolutely love that click. A, I love the sound of it. But B, I also appreciate that, the pen is not just loose and all over the place. I can click it to the side of my tablet and then go about my day. So really love these aesthetic factors. The next thing I really like is it has a web browser. Now the web browser isn't phenomenal. You're not going to be using the web browser to like watch videos or browse Reddit, but it can be used for some very, very light browsing. Like if you want to read a newspaper article here or there, it can be used for that. And I appreciate that they threw this feature in. The next thing I love is the writing experience and how you can organize the notebooks, right? So I'm going to give an actual demonstration here. So here are my notebooks, and hopefully you can see that. So these are all folders, right? So you can organize notebooks basically by folder. So say I want to have a folder for like a certain class, right? I'm not in university anymore, but assuming I was, say science class, right? So I create a folder for science class, and in that I can have a notebook, like I have this one notebook here. And when you initially go to create a notebook, and I'll actually show this, there's different templates you can choose from, right? So there's line paper, there's graph paper, and there's like blank paper, etc., etc. So I'm going to just go with line paper for now. And I've created that notebook, so I have this line paper. And I'm going to see if this sound can come across on the screen of writing. But this sound and feel of writing is the closest I've ever gotten on a digital tablet to real pen and paper. So let's see if this sound comes across. Hopefully, at least a little bit of that came across. But even when I'm writing, I'm gonna write like, "Hi, how are you?" And I'll show you what that looks like. My handwriting may not be the best, but it's just again, you truly have to feel it to know what I'm talking about. But the experience of writing on this tablet feels a lot like actual pen and paper, and I appreciate that so much. So big pro for me there. The next thing, this is a pro for just about any Kindle device, but that is the Kindle Store. So anytime I need a book, downloading it on this is super easy. The Kindle Store is, of course, integrated. So you search for the book you want. It does, cost money, unfortunately, but you pay for the book, and then it comes into your library. So it's as simple as that. Go to the store, buy the book, and you can download it into your library in seconds. So anytime I want to read a new book, I can have it on this Kindle in less than a minute. Next, battery life. Super long battery life, which tends to be a consistent feature across e-ink tablets. So this came with about 50% battery life, and I've been using it for 2 weeks-ish, a fair amount. And currently it stands at 20%, right? So the battery life will last you a long time. I think a full charge can last you at least a month, if not more. Of course, it depends on your use case, whether you're using Wi-Fi, not using Wi-Fi, etc. But rest assured, it has a solid battery life. And the last thing I really want to touch on is I got this device because I wanted to read and write. You know, the issue with using something like an iPad or another tablet for this purpose is A, yes, it doesn't have that nice writing experience of writing on a pen and paper, but B, it's just so easy to get distracted, right? Like you're writing something and then it's like, oh, I'll see what's going on Instagram, or I'll see what's going on the news, right? And it's so easy to get sidetracked from your main task. So I got this tablet because I wanted to be able to read and write with minimal distractions, and I wanted to be able to do it well, and it fits my use case perfectly. If anything, it's knocked it out of the park, right? So I can read without eye strain. It's a nice big screen for me to read on, and I can write very, very easily, right? So those are two big pluses for me. One more thing I want to touch on with the writing is unfortunately, you can't write on books, right? I've heard you can write directly on PDFs. I don't really use this for PDFs, so that may be the case. But what you can do, and I'm just going to open some random book here. So I have this book, and say I want to make a note here. Again, I can't write directly on the page, but what I can do is there's this sticky note option here. I can press that, and I can tap where I want the sticky note to go. And then you see over here, this little sticky note tab has opened up, right? So over here, I can make a note, exclamation point. And then I close this, and there's this very small, maybe I can bring it closer to the camera, very small icon there. It's hard to see on the camera, but you can see it in person. And then when you click on it, your note pops up. So you can take notes, like as you're reading a book, you're like, oh, that's a good point, Then you can tap there, and you can put a note there. It's the digital equivalent of, sticking a sticky note on the page. So that's a nice little feature there as well. Now, let's talk about the cons. And I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot of cons for me to really point out, but the first I want to touch on, this doesn't compare to other digital notebooks, right? Now, this is my first kind of digital notebook experience, especially in the e-ink world, but I've heard of other notebooks such as the Remarkable and a few more having other features like writing to text or being able to share your notebook more easily. Kindle only allows you to share by email. With these other tablets, you can share by Dropbox, Google Drive, and a few other integrations there as well. And you can't write directly on the book, and that may be a deal breaker for some people who are really into note taking, and that's the main reason they're getting this device. And if you're getting this for like math purposes or physics or some sort of equation purposes, there's no real equation integration either, right? Like when you're writing, there's no easy way to write equations instead of just writing them by hand. I know some notebooks, they do have special features you can use to make writing equations easier. This is not the case with the Scribe, right? The Scribe's writing capabilities are very, very bare bones. You can write, you can highlight, you can erase, And that is really about it. With the Remarkable, again, I've never owned this tablet, but with the ads and such that I've seen, people are able to make things bigger, make things smaller, take like a little snippet, copy it over to another page. I haven't found this feature in the Scribe, and if it does exist, at least it doesn't exist in an intuitive position. Please let me know if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it just doesn't exist, period. So if you're getting this for the note-taking, reasons, and you want a digital notebook, and that's the main reason you're getting it, and you're like a professional note taker, right? Say you're a student or a teacher or something like that, this might not fit your needs. And I'd go as far as to say it probably won't fit your needs, right? I'm a casual note taker. I wanted to take notes about books and journal and write, some of my thoughts and goals, etc. For me, it's perfect. But if you're a professional note taker, I would probably look elsewhere. The other con I want to point out, this is a bit of a nit, but I do wish, they had done what I'm about to suggest. This pen right here, this is the basic pen, right? So you can get this tablet with either the basic pen or the premium pen. The premium pen version costs a little bit more. And one of the big differences is that, and I'm going to demonstrate this here now, is that when you want to erase with the basic pen, the one that I have, you have to actually go to the side, click on the eraser, and then, do what you want to erase. Whereas with the premium pen, you can literally just turn it over and then scratch off what you want to erase. I feel like that's like having the eraser on the back is such a nice feature, and this device is fairly pricey as it is. I guess in the world of e-ink tablets, it's not too pricey, but it would have been nice just to throw that feature on to the basic pen. That way, the basic pen would replicate a real life pencil almost to a T, right? You've got the writing capabilities at the front, erasing capabilities in the back. So to me, when we talk about basic pen, I do want the eraser right on the back. Again, it's kind of like a nit of a thing to, pinpoint as a con, but that's something I would have loved to see. In summary, and I do have my summary on another page, so I'm gonna flip my notebook here. It was perfect for my use case, right? My use case was reading and non-professional note taking, and I am more than satisfied. But if your use case is professional note taking, I would say steer clear and try something else. But if your use case is similar to mine, I think you might be pleasantly surprised with this device. Definitely give it a shot, and I hope your experience is as good as mine was. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.